Good morning. Good morning. Um, I had to touch on the Salt and Pepper biopic. I love hip hop. We will not be like I just can't ignore this shit. First of all, I need to share this live to my Facebook page because I'll usually go live with them about stuff like this, but I don't have forgot my fucking password to fucking Facebook. So copy link. I'll just put it on my page now. But I want to get into the biopic and why um, reporting and retelling these stories are important for everybody. It's important for the culture, and it's important for the ladies and guys moving forward in hip hop, right? So if you didn't watch the biopic, if you don't give a fuck about Salt and Pepper, this is not the blog for you because I do realize there's a lot of battle rap fans on my yes. What's up, Francis? I do realize there's a lot of battle rap fans, but you guys, if you know me, you know that I'm into knowing your history, knowing where you come from, knowing where you get your shit from. Okay? So I did take notes. I took notes. I watched the movie. And just to start off, Trap House, yeah, what's up, family? Just to start off, the biopic, if you're a new fan of, or if you're younger and you're not familiar with Salt and Pepper, this probably was an okay watch. You know what I mean? Like on the surface, I don't have too many complaints. I mean, you can't all the time find like what do they call them, doppelgangers? You can't find like twins to play the roles of people. You know what I mean? Like the actors still need to have some sort of skill set to play the part. And I wasn't mad at the actresses that played the part. And I'm so sorry. That's one thing I did not do was Google these actresses' names for this biopic. But I'm not mad at the job that they did because to me the biopic was very like surface, very it wasn't too deep. So I did take notes. Oh, I also gathered a gang of pictures for the fans of Salt and Pepper so that as we're discussing this shit, we can look through the pictures. I'm going to touch on the fact that Spinderella wasn't, she didn't have a voice in this movie. And I feel like when you look through the pictures and you look through the songs and you go through the history, she's there. She's there through all of these moments. So it's weird to me the way they tried to exclude her. Was it over money? I don't know. I don't know if it was over money or not, but the way they excluded her wasn't right because she was there from the beginning. But let's just look at. Let me just put that up real fast. So I use this picture in my little YouTube thing, except it's like my face cropped onto their bodies. But so as you can see, this is iconic. This is their original Salt and Pepper leather jackets. Kid from Kid and Play is the one that did the logos for them. These were personalized jackets. These jackets symbolize like their beginnings. They're nostalgic and they're important. Uh, as you can see, there goes Spinderella right there. And this is from their very, this might have been their first single, like with their deal. I'm not sure. We can all do research. Anybody who feels like they need to correct me, go right ahead and do it in the comments. I feel like this picture is from their first deal, their first single. And that's one thing about the movie. So let me go to my notes. That's one thing about the movie that I was kind of like bummed out over. Like go over, they didn't visit Tramp. They didn't show us making the video Tramp. Hold on, guys. Babe, I'm on the thing. Yeah. Not yet. I'm gonna go. I'm almost done. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm sorry guys. Um so let's talk about the beginnings. You know what I'm saying? They got with Herby. He was a creep. They known it from the beginning that he was a creep. They showed that on the movie that he was like pushy and bossy. They still wanted to do it. Originally, they weren't rappers, and they still went. You know, back then, being a female in rap, it wasn't even a thing. There was like three. There was like three bitches back then. Yeah, Dee Dee was not with them from the beginning. Correct. There was another girl there. I forgot her name. I don't even have the picture of her. I should have brought up the picture of her because I was collecting pictures, but for some reason she didn't last long. And the way they depicted it in the film, they depicted it like they depicted it as if Herby was being flirtatious with this first DJ, and that's probably why she was gone or she was fired. They did make mention that she didn't know how to scratch or mix. So I guess that meant something significant, or there had to be a reason for them mentioning that. Maybe they didn't want to mention that it was over Herby Love's ways. But yeah, Spinderella wasn't there from the beginning, but when she did come in, she was 16 years old. She said she was a year in to DJing. So that's not bad. I mean, what it to be 16 years old back then, what was that? 85, 86? Like I guess that was a big deal for a girl in my opinion. Um so like I said, this is the single that they came out with, Tramp, right? Push It was on the Push It was on the B side, I believe they were saying, and I'll Take Your Man. They ain't highlight them songs. Why they didn't highlight I'll Take Your Man? Why they didn't highlight I'll Take Your Motherfucking Man? Like this is the whole thing. Even if these girls weren't rappers per se, when they started, they were very New York City. We're gonna talk about the fashion of Salt and Pepper too, because this shit is influential to this day. The way women in New York City dress, black women in New York City, the way black women in New York City turned up for hip hop. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why New York City is held in such reverence in hip hop. Because in this era, in these beginnings, people in New York City were the best that ever did it. This was creation in like a primal level that you don't even get to see happen. I haven't seen it happen again. Everybody's still drawing from this shit right here. Anyway, these bitches was bad. We're not going to get into their personal side, but we are going to get into their personal side. But for right now, these bitches was bad. And like I was saying, Tramp and I'll Take Your Man, those motherfucking songs had messages. So Tramp was basically about niggas. Niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? It was just a message to the ladies, like, and to the guys. I'm thinking about the words. Yeah, so they was just talking shit to the niggas on Tramp. But the beat was type fire. The video was innovative for its time, because in the video there's cameos from Herby Love Bug. He's playing a tramp, which was very true to his actual real life character. So that wasn't a hard job. And then there was Kid and Play. Play, as they said in the movie, was already a dog. So he was playing his role. And Kid played his usual character as the comedian. And I just thought that was like a video that should have got some mention, because we didn't get to see them go from Sears to like what they really grew into. We did get the shot of Play drawing the logo. We did get that, but we didn't get to see like all the other fun stuff. Salt and Pepper did a single on House Party. What was the name of the song? It was one of not my type of hype. Oh my god, I know. I was just looking at the shit. But anyway, did I fucking take a picture of the album cover of that one? No. But they had a single on House Party. And they were a part of each other's growth, and they did help each other out. And I felt like that just should have been mentioned more, because people are so fucking cutthroat in the industry. And you know how it was back then, I guess it is right now to this day, because it's weird. It's just weird. Jax, what's good? Good morning. It's just weird with some of the stuff that they left out, which I feel like were important things to leave in, so that when young people are looking back at the foundation, they see what made successful groups, what made successful entities in hip hop, especially in these very beginnings. You see, they was getting $5,000 for a song. Like, they wasn't getting no money like that, and they still, did it out the love, out of the passion. So like I was saying, there's not too many instances of Spinderella not being in the picture, but yet Spinderella was barely in the actual picture. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of crazy. They did all work at Sears. That was interesting. For the young people, Sears is like, Sears still exists, right? Okay. Sears still exists. There's other things that don't exist anymore, but Sears is still around. But I guess back then they had a call center, and that's where they all met up. Martin Lawrence was from DC, and I guess he went to New York for comedic purposes for his career, because there's a lot. You had to go to New York or like LA back then. Now you don't got to go nowhere. We could sit at home on the computer and get famous right from our motherfucking phone. But back then you actually had to go to like meccas of entertainment to get noticed and put some work in. And at that time, I guess it was New York and LA. You know what I'm saying? So Spinderella, they just minimized her. And I know she was complaining. I've seen things online with her, mentioning that it was wrong that she was excluded from this movie. It's not productive. Fuck your personal reasons. When you're leaving something historical behind, when you're retelling history so other people could learn from it, you don't omit things like a DJ. She wasn't only a DJ. She was a black woman. She was writing. She was a dancer. She has verses on songs. She's included in the awards. So why was her voice so small in this movie? It might be over money. I don't know. I seen Pepa doing an interview on The Real, and she was still like, Pepa, ghetto fabulous. But I loved every minute of it. She was just saying she didn't deserve as much as they did. And I'm going to have to say I disagree. I'm going to say I have to disagree. I couldn't find too many pictures with her not in it. And she was everywhere. She was with them. She was Salt and Pepper. And to be honest, she danced better than them. If you look at the Shake My Thing, Shake Your Thing video, I want you guys to go to that video on YouTube and see how low Spinderella gets to the ground. Megan status. Watch when they do the side, right on this part right here. To the left, to the right, that move, to the left, to the right, bring it down. That move right there, Spinderella was all the way down. Not to mention, she's about 12 years younger than Cheryl and Sandy. And she was the darkest one. I'm just putting that out there. Back to the movie. So the movie left out a couple of critical things that I was interested in seeing the makings of. Let's get into Sandy's bulimia. They never titled it. They never quite said, hey, she's suffering from bulimia. But they showed us that she was overeating and then throwing up. They showed us Herby making a comment about her weight. He said, they like you thin. She said, I thought you liked my curves. He said, I do, but the industry likes you thin. Stop eating those potato chips. They showed a scene when she was like coming up the stairs, and you could see that instead of looking at her like they were having a conversation, he was looking at her stomach. So they kind of like tried to show us her insecurities about her body. And then they showed us several scenes of her throwing up in the toilet. This is what I don't like. They never addressed it. They never cleared it up. They never told us how she got over it. They never told us if she's still sick. They just left that shit for us to figure out. For Black girls looking up, or women for that matter, any women of any walk of life right now are rappers. Everyone, I've seen all types of race, size, colors, nationalities, countries want to rap. So for women in general, we didn't see how she got over this. She never even talked about it in the movie. Nina, you might not want to be here. You might not want to be here if you ain't see it, but you can still watch it to me, because it's not like we don't know the story. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the shit that I don't like. So you can actually still watch it. It's just, I'm just breaking down the shit that I feel like was irresponsible, left out, whack, and also the things that I liked. I liked that they showed, those wigs was horrible. Now, even though their hair right here is horrible, I would prefer an exact depiction of the fucking hair. We are in the age of lace fronts and fake fucking scalps. Fake scalps. You mean to tell me that we couldn't get a right and correct depiction of their hair? If you had to give me this, give me this. And where the fuck were the rope chains? We ain't see them enough. And these girls were into jewelry. What they called it back in the days, trunk jewelry. You want to see a correct depiction of how the hair was in this era? Hold on. Let me pull it up. There we go. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn, New York. That is a depiction right there. That is the hair. That right there. That right there. That was a fine ass bitch in that day. That was a fine bitch. They mentioned Roxanne Shante in the biopic, though. Yes, MC Lyte has always been classy and always talked to these niggas soul. She always talked to these niggas soul. But what I'm talking about is a correct depiction of a Black woman's hair. And we loved every minute of this. Black women loved it. Look at the earrings. Take it in, guys. Take it all in. Look at the earrings. Light, a L. Hip hop is founded on the individual. What makes you special? Tell us. Tell us what makes you special. How do you stand out? Look at what we were willing to do to just have our own shit. Bitch, we gonna cut half of this motherfucker right here and leave this motherfucker in the back long. Okay? Then we gonna dye this bitch. Motherfuckers was creative as shit. This is a correct depiction of the hair. Lifetime, I understand. I heard a lot of people make excuses for Lifetime. I understand that maybe you're not working with a VH1 budget. But for God's sake, you are a fucking cable television network. Cut the fucking shit. Get somebody from Atlanta here when you're dealing with these Black women's hair, when you dealing with our fucking history. Look at Salt back there. That's Salt back there. And Ken and Play practicing. These motherfuckers was really working together. I don't feel like they really depicted that correctly. Let's talk about the business. They was getting jerked. They was getting jerked by Herby. Herby did feel like he did a majority of the work. I'm gonna agree with him to some extent. The nigga had the vibe. I don't even have a picture of Herby up here. That's not right. Let me get a picture of him real quick. The nigga had the vibe, the production, the look, the flow, the words, the concepts. We have to say that he did create Salt and Pepper. We just gonna put it right out there. Herby Love Bug, the producer. Let's just put it out there, right? Because we can't even argue that fact. We can't even argue the fact that he did create these motherfuckers. And we're also not going to forget that women didn't really have opportunities to create shit back then. Let's be real. Niggas ain't even want bitches around. Niggas don't even want bitches around now. So let's keep it 100. Niggas don't want us around now. So back then, it was even crazier. Concept Cash, yes, Salt. To me too, she was fine as hell. To me too. I liked Peppa's voice way better, but I loved the look of Salt. And she could dance too. Let me get these pictures up for y'all. Let me get Herby up real quick. Ooh, the 2-finger rings. I want one now, y'all. That was that shit. But my mother wasn't having none of it. I was too little for that. Bitch, you think you grown. And no, you can't get a Jerry curl. Okay? No, you can't get a Jerry curl. Okay, there goes Herby. There you go. That's him. He was Haitian. I didn't say that to be funny. I'm just saying he was Haitian. I don't know why I felt like laughing on the inside. I don't know. Something about his forehead is fucking big as shit. But we got to give this nigga his credit. And he was talented. He was also, let's do a Wikipedia on him really quickly. Okay? Let's do a Wikipedia. I was trying to see if I could find any better pictures of him, but it's not too many. Oh, let me see. This gives us a good idea. I think I found a picture that'll like give us a good idea of how many artists he was associated with and how many careers he was responsible for taking off. Yes, he was Haitian. Ça passe. Oh, I know something. Comme si, comme ça. He was a comme si, comme ça type of dude. So. He was so. You know what I mean? But ultimately, though, he was in charge of a lot of people and responsible for a lot of careers taking off. We'll just say he had a vision. You know what I'm saying? But let's give the black man his credit. He had a vision. He's seen it through. And he was like, even though he was grimy, capitalism, where we live at, America's all about that. You know what I'm saying? And he was all about his business. So we can't be mad at that man. You know what I'm saying? He was taking advantage of some women. Who wasn't taking advantage of women? Herby Love Bug Azor, born September 26, 1964, also known as Fingerprints, is a Haitian musician and hip-hop music producer. Azor is best known for discovering and producing the hip-hop trio Salt and Pepper and the rap duo Kid and Play. Associated acts. Peppa is from Jamaica. Peppa's Jamaican. She has a Jamaican family. Here's Herby's associated acts. Salt and Pepper, Snow, Dana Dane. Snow is a Caribbean act as well. I'm not sure which island he's from, but he wasn't a Caribbean act, and I know he did have a top, like he had a hit. So Salt and Pepper, Snow, Dana Dane, Sweet Tea. I remember Sweet Tea. Do you guys remember Sweet Tea? Dark skinned, beautiful sister with the braids. Kwame, polka dots with the he had a Gumby too. His album was actually underrated. Yes, Informer. Go off, Nina. Informer. That's a big song. That's a big gangster tune. That's a gangster tune. Snow had a song called Informer. Disgraceful. Niggas ate it up though. Niggas ate it up. You know Jamaica got a lot of whites. A lot of whites. Kwame, yes, he was a big deal. So Salt and Pepper, Snow, Dana Dane, Sweet Tea, Kwame, Dougie Fresh, and Kid and Play. He had a lot of Herby had a lot of his hands in a lot of stuff in the beginnings. This was also, I also want to add that Herby's sound was not like Run DMC or who else can I think? Or Juice Crew or KRS-One. This sound right here, this group of people that you're looking at right here, they were founding fathers of pop and hip hop. If anybody wants to correct me in the chat, go right ahead. This was like a era of a lighter hip hop. And this is also a time when hip hop started branching off into so many directions. Because people from all around the country were coming in. Blacks were living different walks of life. There was already old money established with Black people. So there was definitely different perspectives coming out of hip hop. But let me reinstate, New York was the Mecca. Yes, the Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul vibe. Exactly. Hip hop started doing things. You were getting different sounds. You were getting sounds out of boroughs. You were getting different experiences. People were speaking through the cultures from their homes. Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, Foundation Blacks, California. Down south really wasn't making noise yet, but I think Master Ace wasn't down south yet at this point. But these group of people that you're looking at right here definitely started a more lighter sound to hip hop, like Elevation Allah saying in the chat, a more family friendly sound, and definitely a more conscious. They were definitely more conscious of the product that they were putting out. Let's talk about this part. They were being ridiculed for it as well. A lot of the community wanted a more edge. They wanted more violence. They wanted more sex. They wanted more disrespect. So who are the foundational Blacks? I believe the foundational Blacks are to be Black mama, Black father, Black grandma, Black grandfather, Black great grandmother, Black great grandfather. And as in my particular case, it stops there because I'm from a slave family. So that's how I view it. That's my perception, but all perceptions are welcome. So yeah, like I was saying, this sound was being ridiculed, pushed out by the community though. Not by like white people, by Black people. And I guess people wanted a more true depiction of how life was back then. But like I said, it's perception and where you're from, because the depiction is gonna depend on how you're living life. You know what I mean? These Salt and Pepper, they was fucking managers at Sears. Not too many Black women were managers anywhere. A lot of Black women was on welfare, drugs. You know, a whole bunch of whole shit was going on during that time. Y'all remember the 80s, and if you don't, you can Google it. So it was a lot of things going on in this era. But we can move on from that. Those But Herby, I just wanted to give him his flowers, even though he might have been a piece of shit ass nigga, a liar and a cheat. As a businessman, he was on top of his job and he wanted something big for himself and he made it happen. So salute to him. You know what I'm saying? We can't be mad the fuck at that. He ain't the only motherfucker that was a piece of shit out here. The ladies were very, very stylish. These was trend-setting ladies. And look at there. What do we have? What do we have here? Spinderella. There she goes. Again. She's everywhere. It's a shame. It's a shame how they fucking left her out of this shit like she was just fucking Vanna White. They treated her like Vanna motherfucking White in this particular movie. I want to read this comment. Hold on. Foundational Black Americans are Black people who trace their lineage to the plantations of American slavery. That's my people. That's me. Agreed. Although I have not located my great grandparents. I just can't. So I think I have to do I can't find any records. My grandfather fought in the war, World War II, in the Navy. Honorable discharge. He's buried at the Calvary. I forgot which cemetery. But anyway, he had the full burial and all of that. But I cannot find these records. So I don't know. I'm gonna do like some DNA shit and try to see how far back. See what I could find. See what plantation. I know that we're from my grandfather's side, the Rocky Mountains in North Carolina. I know that. My grandmother, as far as I can go back, Virginia. Anyway, you see anyway, you know what? That ties into what we're talking about. Because the moment you start erasing people's history and fucking with how things really was, then shit is just, it's a lie. It's a lie. And then people want to just twist shit up and leave shit out for their fucking benefit. And all of that shit, even with our situation as slaves and with this situation as slaves in the music industry, it's all over greed. It's all over me. And the shit don't even add up to being nothing. Because look, years later, you know what I'm saying? You're fat, you're overweight, you're whatever you are. It don't even matter. Your health matters, your kids matter. All the shit that matters is the only thing that matters. Wow, look at that. This was at the VH1 Honors. I think this was the 25th year. I'm not sure. Anybody, feel free to go in the chat and correct me if you want to. But this is very recent. Not this year, not last year recent, but recent enough. And look at all three of them together. So like I said, leaving Spinderella out is trash. It's total fucking trash. Let me get back to my notes. So we went over Love Bug was a cheater. Salt stayed with him. She ain't touch on that. They didn't touch on any Black women self-esteem issues. What they had was Mario Van Peebles came in, and his part, I guess he was a minister. This is when Salt was in church and she was getting touched by the Holy Ghost. Don't you love it when Jesus comes down and saves you? And she had an epiphany, and this epiphany was delivered by a pastor played by Mario Van Peebles, and he touched on our self-esteem issues. Now, let me say this. I don't mind a man leading and guiding us and touching on, you know what I'm saying, and correcting us and telling us what we need and being honest with us. You need more of that. You need more of men being honest and stop manipulating bitches for your little instant gratificational needs and think about the long run. But on the flip side of that, women, we need to take our own responsibility about our own self-esteem and about our own fucking childhood issues and address them. So you don't got to wait around for a nigga to tell you, girl, you need to get it together. Or as my man would say, tighten up. The business side of things, bitches is getting jerked. Bitches been getting jerked. Everybody needs to be about their business. One of my mentors always tells me, as a woman, you should have your own something. It's okay. Have your own something, have your own life. Cautionary tale. This is a cautionary tale. Wendy Williams is a cautionary tale. But Wendy Williams got something of her own. Even though her relationship almost broke her, at least she has something of her own. Something that she believes in and something that she loves. You need to have a life outside of a man. Hurricane Dude, why do you think Spinderella was left out? I think it's business related. I think it's money related. I don't think it has anything to do with their ethnicities. I just think it's money. I just think it's capitalistic crap. It's money. Fuck integrity. Fuck that we're sisters. It's not showing any unity. It's not showing unity in black people. It's not showing unity in black women. And this is like when they were doing, what was that song? When all the ladies were together? Ladies, not Ladies Night. When it was Queen Latifah and what's her name? Moni Love. What Moni in the, no, it wasn't Moni in the Middle. It was another uplifting song that they did. Some ladies song. I can't fucking remember. Do you guys remember the name of it? Ladies First. Yes, thank you, G2. And was it Ladies First? Yeah, yes. Yo, I wish I could play videos, but I might monetize this. But I can't remember the words. Let me find the lyrics to Ladies First. Oh, now it's coming in my head. Ooh, ladies first. Right. So they was on that tip, right? Publicly. Or maybe somebody from there, that's what they wanted. Let me see if I can find some, let me get some pictures from Ladies First so we could look at them. Because publicly they was trying to push, there was a movement. There's KRS-One, self-destruction. There was a movement happening at the same time. There was, but at the same time there was a movement working against that movement. And this was what's up, Vega? Thanks for checking in. At the same time of people trying to bring black people together, there was another movement of, hey, listen, we sell drugs to make money. Look, we look fabulous for it, and I'll kill you. And it was definitely a fight within the black community with the sound and everything. And we all know where we're at today. Ladies First, Queen Latifah, Images. That song was like really dope. And it's unfortunate. That was Queen Latifah and Moni Love, right? It's unfortunate that that movement, like women weren't bold enough at the time to keep going with this. And you know, another thing is we got to, as the elders and the older people in hip hop, have to take responsibility for not just being strong enough or resilient enough, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Or gave a fuck enough about, I don't know what was happening then. I don't know what happened then, what made them say, fuck it, I don't even care. Queen Latifah started acting and getting her bag over there. I mean, she put people on. So it's not like, it's certain people that put people on. Queen Latifah put Treach and all of them on. And I guess she did what she could do. But I don't know. I feel like they kind of left, like dropped the ball and then just let hip hop go wherever, whatever way it was going to go. Like they didn't feel like it was their responsibility anymore. But I feel like as founding fathers, as pioneers, as people that's probably coached younger people, because if you brought Treach in, you know what I'm saying? Like you brought somebody else in. I just feel like the guidance was off. They let the industry eat up a lot of young acts coming up behind them. And I feel like that was negligent. I just got to put it out there. That was negligent. Elevation Allah asks, you just brought up self-destruction. Have you ever wondered why Rakim, he's half Nigerian, was left off the biggest song of the century? Just asking. No, I don't know why. But guys, I'm in contact lightly with Craig G from the Juice Crew. And if I could get him on here one day, maybe for all of us to discuss and ask questions, if he's willing to do it, I'll ask him. I'll ask him to come up and we could ask him a bunch of questions about back then. Because I do want to ask, like, how did this happen? Was it like the companies? Did the companies, did the big radio labels push out the older people and like took away their voice and power? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but there was a movement, but we can see with the way Spinderella was being treated, it's just catty female shit. And that shit continued on in hip hop up until this day. You know what I mean? So as far as we could talk about that, but we know behind the scenes there's a bunch of issues and they're usually personal, you know what I'm saying, with women and how they get along behind the scenes, how the industry uses them against each other, and how they pretty much voluntarily eat the shit for their own personal gain. Vega said, nice to hear a woman accept that a man should be honest more about a woman's inner self-esteem, upliftment. Yeah, I think that if you see a woman and you know that she's weak, don't go in for the prey. Let her know she's vulnerable and she could be a victim. But you know, some niggas are the wolf. So that's why I said women you gotta do your own work too. I believe there was an interview where Rakim spoke on that. I'll look it up, G2. I'll look it up and we'll make this we'll make it a separate blog. If you guys want to have, I'm gonna make a blog later on and ask what do you want from this channel. Like we could do days where we talking about classic hip hop, and then I could do days where I'm just talking about battle rap exclusively. But I wanted to touch on another thing with Salt and Pepper because I do have a list of points that I wanted to hit with this movie. Yeah, we're gonna check that out. I'm gonna put that in my notes, and we're definitely gonna revisit this. So we talked about Salt's eating disorder. We talked about the business side of things with Trash. That's nothing new. I.e., damn near everybody in the industry. Read stories, research. The tour life, they showed us them going on tour when they had the one of the other albums came out. Let me put up some other artwork of them. They had this was one I used to like this as a child. Lyrically, they was even I knew as a kid they was light, but I enjoyed it because they had so much attitude. They delivered their bars with so much attitude. It was so New York. It was so black girl. And even at this time, I didn't know. I was a little ass kid, like a little ass kid. I didn't know that I was a black girl per se, but this whole thing was just like everything. They whole looks, like they really brought fashion to hip hop. Like it was really good. Look at them. It was some good shit. They were like, even in the beginnings, they were just giving us body, hair, jewelry, just everything. Those hats. Who wore those hats first? Who started that thing? Was it Kool Moe Dee? The bleach blonde hair. Look at Spinderella. Everywhere. Can't even escape. Can't even fucking escape it. Like, I did, however, find pictures without Spin. I did. This was like in their very, very, very beginnings. Before the DJ. So I did find that. Even in this album cover, Spinderella's not there. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to claim that, I guess they could have it. You know what I'm saying? But let's just ice a Coogee rat. Teach us, Elevation Allah. Teach us. Okay, and for the final, I wanted to say one thing, fun fact about the movie. There's a scene where there's a fake Salt and Pepper performing the real Salt and Pepper songs because the public they didn't have a visual yet. And that two fake Salt and Peppers are played by the actual Salt and Pepper's daughter. I thought that was a fun fact. There was, okay, so then Peppa had a baby by some nigga she met at a bar. I don't even give a shit about that a little bit. Like, it's interesting to see, but all right. Peppa had a baby by a nigga. Nigga ain't want the baby. She kept it. She couldn't afford to keep it. Moving right along. Peppa meets Treach. I think you guys remember that. Let me see where I got some. I got some pictures of their thing. This was like fun for hip hop at this time, like Peppa and Treach. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas get together on some celebrity shit. Here we go. Right? So she liked him. Treach, he was a big deal. OPP was popping. He had a couple of good songs. Treach was really like that other side of hip hop I was talking about. You know what I mean? He was talking about the hard side of being. There was like two different Spinderellas. Yeah, there was one that they kept around for like a minute, fired her ass, and got Dee Dee in there at 16. Um, she was, as they showed in the movie, she was drawn to him. They liked each other. They had a strong connection sexually, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They were attracted to each other. It was a strong. But they got married and all that shit. What I didn't like was and Treach didn't like. We got to talk about the way he was depicted in the film. And they showed him as, they didn't show physical abuse, but they did show major aggression. And he did come off as a verbal abuser. He did come off as that in the movie. Now, I had to give Treach his just due as a fan and just as a black woman, and see if he had anything to say about how they depicted him. And he did. Apparently, there was a book that came out. I did not read the book. I'm not going to lie and act like I was interested in reading the book. But now that this is out, I am a little bit curious about the book. So in this interview, let me give a shout out to Madam Noor. This interview took place January 16th. That's like a couple of days ago, 2020. Let me just read a couple of things. Although things are good now between Anthony Treach Chris and ex-wife Sandra Pepper Denton, the Naughty by Nature rapper is still upset about the way he was portrayed in her 2008 autobiography. Let's talk about Pep. And in turn, her forthcoming Lifetime biopic. We have a love-hate relationship, Treach said Thursday in an interview with this interview he spoke with The Breakfast Club. I guess you guys, if you want to listen to it for yourself, is up there on YouTube. Shout out to The Breakfast Club. Let's give them their credit. Treach said we have a love-hate relationship. And he was alongside his daughter, Egypt Chris, who he shares with Peppa. We good, Treach says, but it's certain things that come up from her book, and now it's going to be a Salt and Pepper movie. I'm looking at the character they got from me. They want a release, and that will never happen. What's Love Got to Do with It was a great movie, but it wasn't our story. Treach told the host that despite the fact that the book always bothered him, he never took legal action against his ex-wife because the book wasn't a success and didn't affect his career. However, with the Me Too movement making waves in the upcoming Lifetime film, he's deeply concerned about how he will be perceived by the public. Treach says, when I got the script, I had to keep saying, when did this ever happen? Even when I asked about the book, I'm like, Sandy, when did this ever happen? And she's like, well, I can proofread it, and they put a little extra in it. Despite admitting to him in private that parts of the book were fabricated. So Treach is saying that she told him privately that, yeah, the book is fabricated. I wanted to make it saucy or whatever the case. Treach says that the Salt and Pepper rapper never publicly acknowledged this or tried to clear his name. Whose fault is that? You going to keep letting her slide with saying shit about you that's not correct? That's your problem. Now you let it slide with a book that came out in 2018, and now you complaining like, we hear you though, but check it. Check the shit. Check her. Anyway, he says, that's what makes it a crazy situation. I'm out in these streets looking crazy like a beast. The couple's daughter, Egypt, who was present for the interview, however, insists that her mother does not want Treach's reputation to be tarnished behind the accusations of domestic violence that were published in her book. Okay, so Egypt is saying, my mom doesn't want my dad to look bad, yet your mom paints a picture of your dad that makes him look bad. Either it happened or it didn't. Now, look, it's not like these things are foreign to people and families. In the movie, he's depicted as an angry drunk, right? And it's not like we're not familiar. Nobody don't got no angry drunks in their family, no alcoholics, no addicts, no nothing. We get it. And people do change. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who to believe in this situation. And I know for women, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough to accept that that's what happened to you. Speak on what happened to you. Still forgive the person that it happened to you by. Have to tell your story and have to deal. It's just a lot. And if you feel like somewhere where she's stretching the truth, or you didn't do this or you didn't do that, then you can speak on it. You were young at the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, this is a his word against her word type of thing. I don't know what's truthful, but I will say this. It's not hard to believe. Elevation Allah says Pepa looks like she would fight a dude. I'm going to agree. And I was just going to say that she seems like an aggressive person. And then me saying she seems like an aggressive person is in no way justifying in the case where she comes off aggressive. Her aggression needs to be met with equal aggression, or she needs to be overpowered or suppressed, or that energy needs to be suppressed physically or in any other way. I'm just saying that she does look aggressive, and depending on where you're at in life, man or woman, you might not tolerate any signs of aggression from anybody, and it's no telling how someone might react to aggression. It was a time in my life, if you rolled your motherfucking eyes, we might need to fight. And that's ignorant as fuck. Egypt, Salt and Treach's daughter, is also currently on the cast of Growing Up Hip Hop. Egypt says, I know she does try to make sure everything is clear because of that setback. She does not want your career falling back at all. They must have been conversing with each other during this interview. She says, I didn't finish reading the book. I just went through some parts, and I'm just like, this is crazy. I got two sides. I got two people that I love, and one side says this, and the other says this. Whatever did or didn't happen, it's in the past. So when a child says whatever did or didn't happen, it's in the past, something happened. The relationship probably was toxic. And when you're in a toxic relationship for years, both sides could have been catalysts to violent events within the house. As for the film, Treach says he was approached by directors to sign a release to use his likeness and coach the actor who was cast to play him. The East Orange native refused to partake. Treach says, I'm not no crackhead. I don't need your 5Gs, and I'm not about to tarnish my legacy with lies. So Lifetime offered Treach $5,000? What the fuck? 5,000? I don't. This is Treach from Naughty by Nature. I mean, I don't know how much respect these people have, but niggas is getting paid $5,000 to battle rap. I don't know. This is disrespectful to me. Moving right along. Treach said, fuck that. Keep your $5,000 and suck it, get the fuck out of here. I was gonna say some other shit, but no, I'm not gonna say it. But basically, he told them to get the fuck out of here. His daughter said the filmmakers tried multiple times to add elements to the movie that would portray her father in a violent light, but her mother fought against it. So my question to that is going to be like, why y'all even move forward with the movie if the movie wasn't going to be done right? You motherfuckers couldn't talk. You couldn't pitch this movie. Like, are you ladies still? I'm not trying to be messy here. I'm not trying to be messy here. But are you ladies still like lazy? Have you ladies not learned anything? I'm just being objective. Did you ladies really need to move forward with Lifetime? Did you really? Let's fuck Lifetime, right, guys? Let's look at it like this. Let's take Lifetime out the picture because they can't do shit without Cheryl and Sandy. Why did they move forward with this company? Why, ladies? Why? Why you did New York like that? Why you did the hip hop culture like that? Why did you do members of the hip hop culture who contributed significantly to the way motherfuckers is living their life now? You did not need to move forward. You should have let Lifetime do what the fuck they wanted to do without your consent, and you make your own movie, your own version. No, you motherfucking, let me show y'all the motherfucking artwork. Because y'all was too ready to move. First, let me finish this, and then we're going to go to the artwork. Interestingly, Treach says that the true story, which includes... Now, Treach has a side too. Let's get into it. Treach says that the true story, which includes threesomes and affairs on Pepa's behalf with both men and women. Treach, what the fuck you mean men and women? What threesomes? What? This men and women? You and another nigga? And Pepa? Or Pepa and two niggas off on their own? Don't start to spill the tea if you're not gonna fill our cups. What do you mean, sir? I want another movie. Redo. We want another fucking movie. Let's read that again. Interestingly, Treach says that the true story, which includes threesomes and affairs on Pepa's behalf with both men and women, was much more entertaining than the fabricated version. Treach said this Lifetime motherfucking biopic ain't got shit on they real life. Treach said, oh, what did I do? Oh, that's me. Your camera, looks like your camera was unplugged. Plug it back in. How? How the fuck was my camera unplugged? I don't know. Anyway, we don't got to even go back to me. Treach said, hold on, in the book, okay, that's fine. Treach said, in the book, it says I pulled her hair. When I met Pepa, she was bald from all the dye, and it was a wig on top. This nigga throwing shade. Hold on. In the book, it says I pulled her hair. When I met Pepa, she was bald from all the dye, and there was a wig on top. It's certain things that go on, and it's like, yo, when did this happen? Tell a story. I was no angel. I'm from the street. The character they put me out to be is a weak, savage, demonic abuser. Let me say this. Maybe at that time you was a weak, savage, demonic abuser. You ever thought about that? Maybe you really was. If she was on the phone and you walked in that room, because I need you to deny these scenes. If she was on the phone and you walked in the room and you got jealous over her being on the phone, come on now, that's weak. If you threw a bottle and she was standing there and you tried to scare her, if you tried to scare her with any type of violence, even if you didn't put her hands on, even if you did not put your hands on her, that was weak. If you was getting drunk and cursing her the fuck out in front of your kids' family guests, you was on some drunk demonic shit. And it's okay, because we all had our days. You don't got to be that person today. Egypt says he's not. And they think they shouldn't think that. You have kids of your own who are perfectly fine. If someone is an abuser like a father, he would do that to his own kids. That's not true. She also says, he has treated us like angels all of our lives. I've never gotten a whooping in my life. I understand Egypt's point. I understand Egypt wanting to defend her father. Any daughter would. Any daughter who loves her father or her mother or your parents, you're going to defend them. I understand. But we can't discredit Pepa. That's all I'm saying. Oh, they said my browser blocked it. Refresh it to allow it. Let's see what happens when I refresh. If it cuts off, yeah, we'll revisit this. Oh, I'm there. My fault. Okay. Elevation Allah asks, do you know why Treach won't sue them? Look at it like this. He's living the thug life in his mind, where a real nigga doesn't fuck with the court system or police for any reason. I mean, there's that, but to me, that's dumb because this is your business, this is your brand. This doesn't have anything to do with the streets. You're not doing anything illegal. This isn't illegal activities. If she's lying, she's the one that's doing something illegal. Concept Cash says, I was a huge Kid and Play fan as a kid. Everyone loved them. I don't feel like they get enough flowers. Elevation Allah says, Hurricane Do. Treach sees himself as keeping the Tupac Thug Life legacy alive, so it's the double-edged sword. Well, that's dumb, sir, because Treach got to be 50 plus. Correct this shit. You have daughters. Anyway, look at Treach. He's dressed like a pimp for his wedding. But whatever. I'm just here to say that he has a right to tell his side of the story. You know, as people blogging on it, journalists or whatever you want to call yourselves, it's better to be objective. If she admittedly says to him, look, we embellished it and we added some shit on to make it spicy, that was whack. Because according to Treach, y'all could have just talked about y'all sex life and we would have been blown the fuck away. So you ain't even have to do that. And that's what I'm saying. That's the point of the biopic shit. It's irresponsible to tell these stories in a choppy ass way, like y'all just gonna be leaving shit out. Like, that's corny. That's corny. I'm sorry. It's corny. It's trash. And I think the hip hop culture deserves more. Salt and Pepper, you guys, I mean, I'm not judging nobody and how long it takes for someone to heal or how long it takes for someone to come to peace what has happened with them in the past. But the only thing I'll say is it could have waited. For all of that, then you could have waited. You guys could have waited to put this out and did the right thing. To exclude Spinderella, it was trash, guys. It was trash. And I gotta stick with that. That was trash. Spinderella deserved more. Now, hold on, I'm trying to look for a story where Spinderella speaks on it. This is from USA Today. This story came out 2 days ago, January 25th. Yeah, definitely. It's a finesse, and they got finessed. They doing what Herby Love Bug did to them. The abusee becomes the abuser. Typical. Spinderella, former DJ to Salt and Pepper, is speaking out about feeling disappointed that she was wrongfully excluded from participating in Lifetime's new biopic about one of the first and most iconic female rap groups. Out of respect, let's put Spinderella back up there where she belongs because she was a part of this group. Sorry, guys, I'm going back to that story. Here it is. Sorry. She tweeted. Here we go. She says, "Words cannot fully express my disappointment when I learned a decision was made to move forward with a Lifetime biopic that wrongfully excluded me from every aspect of development and production, all the while using my image throughout. Given that I played an integral role in the group's story and success." Listen, man, let's be real. Spinderella wrote her bars and they were better. I love Peppa's voice. I love Salt's swag, aura, and look. And Spinderella was beautiful. But her bars was better. I know exactly what they say when I turn and walk away, but I don't let it get to me. She was popping shit. Good night. The rise and impact of the rap group were dramatized in the Lifetime movie Salt and Pepper, which premiered Saturday. In it, Cheryl Salt James and Sandra Pepper Denton played respectively by, okay, we get the names of the actresses now, Gigi Townsend and Layla Odom. Record a tune for a co-workers class project and ultimately end up being Grammy award-winning artists who helped change the genre. Oh, here we go. That's why Mario was there. He directed it. Directed by Mario Van Peebles. Oh, that was some sucker shit. We can get into it. Mario Van Peebles is the director. You old motherfuckers still choose checks over integrity and you're about to fucking die? Really? Y'all fearless niggas. You are fearless niggas, not even scared with the next lifetime what you will become. I'm fucking shook. Anyway, directed by Mario Van Peebles, New Jack City and Empire. The executive produced by, oh my dear God, it gets worse. Queen Latifah. I should have started here. I got to get the fuck off this live, and we might have to do a whole nother live. Nope, fuck it. Let's drag them here. I'm not coming back to this crap. Hopefully the younger people moving forward in rap and hip-hop learn from shit like this and does better. Directed by Mario Van Peebles and executive produced by Queen Latifah, whose real name is Deidre Muriel Roper. It also featured Monique Paul as Spinderella. I can't lie, that kind of pissed me off just now. That Queen Latifah is like, oh God. It's like when people get a certain amount of money, they just say fuck everything and just become total trash. USA Today has reached out to James Denton in Lifetime for comment. Spinderella went on to say she could not support the film because she found nothing more unacceptable than a woman being silenced by another woman. Talk to these fucking bitches. But congratulated Paul, whom Spinderella said she wished she would have been given an opportunity to share her true perspective. So basically, the actress that played Spinderella had no human to draw from. I guess she just had to listen to stories and research it on her own. And Spinderella, she is alive. Spinderella says, too often, Black women who have made meaningful contributions in their industry are left out of historical narratives. Back when Salt and Pepper was building our legacy, which is rooted in empowering women, I could not have dreamed that the same group would one day disempower me. Salt told The Breakfast Club, Saturday that she had reached out to Spinderella but had not heard back. She also noted that Salt and Pepper was already established and had another DJ, Latoya Hanson. That's the name we were looking for. Latoya Hanson performed with them before Spinderella joined. But also in the movie, let's just talk about the hypocrisy. Because in the movie, they made a point to leave in the line that she don't know how to scratch, she don't know how to mix. And they fired her ass. And we never seen her again after the scene where it looked like Herby was flirting with her and standing behind her trying to teach her how to scratch. Once he dismissed Salt for eating too many potato chips. Pay attention, guys, because I was. And you know what I'm saying? It comes a time when you get to be a grown-ass woman when everything can't be about the dick, man. You can't just be moving in bitterness. It's just irresponsible as fuck. Spinderella, this is Salt. This is a quote from Salt. Spinderella was an addition to what we already had created. There's always been a lot of attempts to compromise, satisfy on everybody's part. And it's just never got to a place where it was what she thought it should be. And so sometimes things came to a head. It's unfortunate. I know everybody hates when a group breaks up, but internally, sometimes it gets to a point where you have to part ways. We wish Spinderella the best. We're open to whatever can happen in the future. Spinderella closed her Twitter thread by teasing an upcoming memoir, which she called A Personal Journey Navigating Through Life, Relationships, and Industry That Raised Me. Ow, we're going to get a motherfucking Spinderella story. Can't wait. She added, I'm grateful I've managed to uphold a 30-year career of truly empowering women with my gift against all odds. This will continue in my work and in my service. Come on now. A true hip-hop, legend Spinderella is a DJ from not a DJ mixing fake CDs on a program, a real DJ. And no disrespect to you guys, but you know what the fuck it is. Come on. A DJ, a rapper, a dancer, a producer. A DJ, a rapper, a dancer, a producer. She was younger than him too. I know how women get down. Anyway, I'm going to close this off. I just want to say thanks, guys, for sticking with me. It was overall on the surface of the biopic, it was like breezing through Google. It was just some surface shit. It didn't touch things that, we needed to be touched. It didn't finish things that should have been finished. It left a lot of unanswered questions. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I give the biopic a 5 out of 10. And they should have waited. And that's that. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe, share this broadcast. I'll see y'all soon.